Al Horford is the Celtics' biggest offseason question that nobody's talking about. We're going to break down why right here, right now, on the Celtics Chronicle. Al Horford is heading for unrestricted free agency. Since re-signing him from the Oklahoma City Thunder in a trade, Boston hasn't let him hit the free agent market, mainly because the last time he did, he left for the Philadelphia 76ers on a very sizable contract. Horford's too important to this team. He's too important to what the Celtics do. He's been fantastic all year, but money talks and the Celtics have some money problems. There are some ramifications to losing Horford in the free agency market, and we're going to break down why now. So I'm going to hand it over to my boy, Billy Calabrese.
Yeah. So the funny thing is, and people are going to think I'm crazy in the comments until they hear the explanation. You can basically break down Al Horford's tenure or the Celtics last 75 plus years into two eras, the pre Al Horford era and the post Al Horford era. Now, what does that mean? We have never signed an all-star free agent, like a max contract free agent in the city of Boston before Al Horford. He was the very first one. Now, there's a lot of reasons that Boston was never considered a free agent destination. That was always the knock. Bad weather, no nightlife, some racial undertones. There was a lot of reasons that free agents just refused outright to even look at Boston. And Al Horford changed that by accepting a max contract from us, choosing us over 3-4 other teams. And then that opened the gate for guys like Hayward, Kemba. And then now guys are actually putting us on their list. Oh, I want to go to Boston. I want to play for that franchise. That's a franchise that I respect and want to play for. But before that, I mean, we had to beg KG to waive his no trade clause. And for the first 65 to 70 years of Boston's existence, the way they built their team was two ways, by draft and trade. It was never free agency. Free agency wasn't even considered an option for most of the years. But post Al Horford, we became, oh man, this is a place where guys want to play. People want to play for this franchise. So that's really where I kind of feel like he really changed the tone and the way the franchise is received by players.
I think that's fair. And I think that the concern is that once Al Horford leaves and the Celtics start to pivot away from where they are right now, there's a concern that it goes back to the way it used to be and they're not a free agent destination. They draft incredibly well. They are very smart in terms of the way they trade for guys. You've got Brad Stevens running things there. But keeping Al Horford around is just as important for on-court production. And the reason there's a concern right now is because when he hits free agency, the Celtics are so screwed money-wise. I mean, they're looking at a $500 million payroll next season, and that's when you break down salaries plus luxury taxes, that it's going to be really hard to offer him anything more really than the veteran. And that's where the problem becomes. Because then you look over at other teams around the league that might be able to try and prize him away. On Friday, March 28th, Jake Fisher released a report saying that other teams around the NBA could potentially look to steal Al Horford during free agency, with offers starting around the $6 million mid-level exception. That's going to be more than triple or around about triple, just below what Boston can offer in terms of a veteran minimum. And the Celtics need to shed payroll. If you listen back to what Wick said on WEEI last week, he was basically saying the basketball penalties are bigger than the financial penalties. Like, you're okay signing the checks, but it becomes very difficult to build a team and to keep a team sustainable when you're in that second. There are other guys that could be floated in trade talks to get you there, but you still need to re-sign Al. And the problem you have is he's going to be coming to his age 39 season. He could potentially be coming up 2 championships. He has the opportunity to choose where he sees out his career. The hope is it's in Boston. The possibility that it's elsewhere isn't lost on me. And I think that the biggest concern I have is last time he hit free agency, Celtics fans felt the exact same way they do now. He's not going to go anywhere. He loves it in Boston. He's going to re-sign. He'll take a team-friendly deal. Al Horford isn't a flight risk. We all felt that way. I remember having multiple conversations on a string of different podcasts, literally about that subject. And the same verbiage came out of everybody's mouth all the time, including mine, and we all got burned. So I think that when teams are able to offer more than almost triple what the Celtics can for a 1-year deal or a 1+1, there's an opportunity there that you need to sit back and be like, damn, Al Horford could leave.
Yeah, and I kind of make fun of what Miami did with Haslam a lot, but The fact is that Horford does all that locker room stuff. He is such a vibes guy. He keeps everybody. He's the veteran leader of the team. He's Jason Tatum's favorite teammate that he's ever played with. Plus, he can also perform on the court. That's what separates him from what Miami did with Haslam. That's why he's just so irreplaceable on this team. I also do think that there's two situations that happened that made him obviously leave the first time. The first is just the obscene amount of money. Now, when you're in the hundreds, $120 million range, that's a lot more than just doubling or tripling a veteran minimum. That's going to make you like, that was his last real payday. So I understand why he took it, but we're also forgetting how toxic the Celtics locker room was at the time. They weren't sure if Kyrie was coming back or not. And Al Horford basically said, I'm not coming back if this guy even has a 1% chance of being still here. So that's really kind of what happened. Like that was like the season from hell. Every player on that team was absolutely miserable and they all were bickering. They were all not getting along with each other. And since Al Horford's came back, it's just been a completely different regime. It's been a completely different vibe. There's nobody in there that's just stirring the pot and kind of pitting people against each other like Kyrie was.
I mean, that's fair because that was a clusterfuck of a season. And, that was the same season where there was players only meeting on the plane, like not even after game, but on the plane. There was a lot of issues that year. Terry Rozier wanted a bigger role because he'd come off that scary Terry. You had Tristan Thompson telling everybody that the regular season didn't matter. You had Kyrie being Kyrie. So I understand that, but I do think that money talks. And I think that even if you were coming off a harmonious season, you probably still take that deal because, again, it's the last big contract of your career. And I think it's very easy to look at things from an outsider perspective and be like, oh, this guy's got 100 mil in the bank or 200 million in career earnings. And he's set. He can afford to take a veteran minimum and stay where he wants. And I think that's a fair argument to make. I also think that if you told me I could make $6 million a year for 1 year's work or $2 million for 1 year's work, I'm going to take the six regardless of anything. You could just take everything else out. Anyone watching right now, if I said to you $2 million and you're going to be happy where you are, or $6 million, and it's a dice roll on whether you're happy or not, but it's $6 million and you could be in a lower tax state where you get to keep more of that money, which one are you going to choose? And I think that does play a role, especially when you're at the end of a career and you're just trying to maximize the amount of wealth you can generate before you kind of go into that next phase of your life where that money could set you up. It could help launch a business. You just don't know, do you? You don't know what people's financials are like. But I definitely think that the money does play a role, no matter how much we'd like to believe it doesn't. Because look, every Celtics fan wants Al Horford to stay in Boston, retire in Boston. And that's that, right? I mean, he could win a championship this year and just call it a day. Came in with 2 college championships, leaves with 2 NBA championships, done and dusted. But if he chooses to stick around and the team's offering 6, 7, 8, 9 million on a 1+1, and Boston are offering like 2.7 on a vet min, that's going to be a real discussion he has to sit down and have with his family.
That's the nice thing is he's in that post 10 years of service kind of thing. So his vet minimum is going to be closer to 3 or 4 than it's going to be to like the 1.8 or the 2.3 kind of guys. So really, it's going to really depend on what he wants. If he wants to continue winning, you're basically going to eliminate any contract that's over the taxpayer mid-level exception. So no contending team is going to be able to sign him for more than like 6.3, maybe almost like a 2 for 12 if he kind of does get like the 1+1 that we always talk about. So I do think that's the benefit. Now, the only teams that would actually scare me are the teams with cap space that really need like an Al Horford just in the locker room. Like I look at somebody like San Antonio. Now they could go nuts and kind of have a presence like that. I mean, that'd be a great guy to have around Wemby. That'd be a great guy to just, get the culture really back built up to what we knew San Antonio was before Pop got sick. That's really the only team I circle on my list that's not a contender that has the money to kind of throw around. I mean, maybe Detroit, but I just don't feel him vibing.
Detroit's the one I like. I think that San Antonio makes a bunch of sense, especially if Chris Paul doesn't stick around. They're going to need a replacement veteran, for lack of a better way of saying. I think Detroit need one too. I think Detroit have made massive strides this year, and if you can plug an Al Horford into that locker room, then just to really drive home that professionalism and the approach that you need and to bring that know-how, I think that's worth $6 or $7 million for the year, just for that learning experience for Kate Cunningham, for Jaden Ivey, for Durant, for all of those dudes. So look, I don't think he's going to leave the Celtics, but I also don't want to come into the offseason with the same mindset I had last time and then be like, oh man, do you get what I'm saying?
I do think the ball's in his court, though. I think he's kind of earned it to where it's like whatever he wants to do. So if he wants to stay with the Celtics are going to re-sign him. I don't see them turning it down because of the financial aspect, which is going to be a kick in the balls. Like it is going to be very expensive to even sign, that minimum guys because of the penalties. But I do think that he's earned that. But it's just really, what does he want? I mean, his son's the ball boy. He's actually a Celtic employee. Is he really going to uproot, move his family? Is he going to really it seems like he's really found a home here.
Yeah.
And unless like one of the Florida teams were better and closer to contention, I don't see him going anywhere else unless he really did want to go back, like kind of home to second home Florida. I mean, obviously he's not from Florida, but he basically grew up there. He
Yeah.
became, an adult there. So besides the Florida team, which I don't think Miami and Orlando are anywhere close, they're definitely not an Al Horford away from being in the NBA finals.
I think Orlando are closer to what some people give them credit for.
Yeah, that's kind of fair.
Because they're not waiting on trades or anything. They're waiting on internal development. That's what they're waiting on. Is like when and the Celtics were there a few years back, right? When are Jalen and Jason going to take that jump? For Orlando, it's when Frank and Paolo going to take that next step. And if they take that next step over the summer and you plug in an Al Horford, then I think they're a problem. I don't think they're a contender, but I think Al Horford could get quite a bit of success there.
See, like when I say Al Horford away, he's not what they're missing, but he would help them tremendously. The Lakers are Al Horford away. They just need a competent big man that can play with these guys. The Magic's problem is they just need a point guard. Like they just need somebody that could dribble and stay healthy. But obviously, like Al Horford would help that team. But yeah, that's what I mean when I say Al Horford.
Now, I understand. I'm just pointing out that if he wanted to go back to Florida or Orlando as an option, isn't awful.
No, it's definitely more realistic than Miami because I have no idea what Miami's going to do.
What I want to say now is everybody also, if you think that Al Horford's going to stick around, if he is, how much do you think he's going to sign for? Do you think he accepts the vet min? What's your concern level? I mean, this reporting's coming from Jake Fisher, so it's a genuine insider. It was on Mark Stein's Substack where Jake wrote, anything that comes off Mark Stein's Substack has usually been incredibly well vetted. So this isn't just a rumor that some random Joes threw out up against the wall and hopes to stick. So this is genuine, what I'd consider high-level reporting. So I think that it's super important to contextualize where this is coming from as well as what's being said. And then to just kind of look at it and sit back and be like, 6 million or 3 million, like that's still, it's double. You know what I'm saying? You offer me 6 or you offer me 3, I'm going to take the 6. So that is a concern for me. With that being said, make sure that you show some love to us. Make sure you're subscribing to the Celtics Chronicle newsletter. Make sure you're showing Billy some love over on Letterboxd. Billy, where can I find you on Letterboxd?
Let's hit me up at CBO041. You'll see me in the Sebastian Telfair jersey. It's the same as my X account. So, you found me. And like I said, let's just not, let's not fall back into the dark ages when guys like all-stars like David West would turn down playing with the big 3 Celtic to go play for Indiana just because he didn't want to play in Boston. Like we cannot fall back into that dark side.
And while you're there, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, show some love, and we'll be back again at some point over the weekend. Peace.
Peace.